Thank you for being here. I tried to write down and express what I believe to be my beliefs in the most concise and honest written way possible. But I thought it would be important not only to share these as the written word, but also to share these as the verbal word, because I think the spoken word might have more power as a tool of sharing than the simple written word. So I would like to read these beliefs to you so that they have a verbal trace. It reads as follows: I would consider myself a humanist. That is, I believe in the overwhelming strength and beauty of the human race as a collective. I believe that on our infinitely small and fragile planet, we must always remain united as one group, the group of humanity. I firmly believe that no one human is superior or lesser to another. There are just humans of all creeds and nomenclature. To this effect, I am firmly opposed to any and all forms of subjugation and conquest, as it is the enforcement of an artificial superiority on another group of wholly and entirely equal status and standing. To consider oneself superior to another human being is to deprive that very individual of their own humanity, despite their humanity being equally as intact as one's own. I am of the belief that in order to maintain human unity and togetherness, all forms of subjugation and institutions enforcing subjugation are to be abolished through collective force and action, whatever the cost might be. I am fully willing to sacrifice my own existence in the goal of furthering the battle for human equality across the board for all peoples of all continents. In order to detach oneself from the futility of material and political gains, I believe it is important to realize and keep in mind just how fragile our human race is. We may believe to be the strongest beings to have ever lived, but our species, as it is now, has only existed for 300,000 years on a planet more than 4.5 billion years old. We are far from the first and far from the last species to exist on this planet, and this planet will outlast us on an unconceivably large scale. This is not to say that any and all struggle is futile, but we must consider how petty and low the majority of human struggle has always been. It comes down to the whims of an infinitely small yet infinitely powerful minority of individuals commanding the fates of the millions whom, I must remind you, are each and every one of them as human and as important as the other. I believe that in order for humanity to overcome such meaningless squabbling, we have an imperative mission to overthrow the institutions that continue to subjugate, weaponize, and exploit the masses. On a personal level, how does this translate to my life? In terms of a political and ideological label, since it always seems easier for understanding to apply one, I would identify myself as an anarcho-syndicalist. I believe that my ideal world is one where the powers of control and institutionalized violence are toppled, and each human has a multitude of tangible roles to play in the effective maintenance of a society, no matter how large or small. Each individual understands and upholds their identity as a pillar of society, and none are more important than the other, as each person has a responsibility to do their best in providing for said society. Through my budding academic career, I have found interest and purpose in the fields of sociolinguistics and discursive analysis. Through these tools, I am able to better understand the ways in which human languages work and are deployed across culture and medium. I believe that understanding communication is crucial to the necessary joining of human hands across the world, not to erase individuality, but to unite. I hope to share this understanding with as many as I can, as I believe that verbal communication is the basis of all human exchange. I believe that a better future for humankind is possible and tangibly achievable. I do not believe that it will be easy, as many among us will have to make sacrifices and take inconceivably difficult decisions. I have hope for humanity and hope for our planet. My only wish is for these hopes not to have been poorly placed. Thank you.